This is Tomcat's favorite pastime, right? You're so vocal if we don't cuddle. Because this is what you do, Noms. You just want to lay on me and steal all my heat and try to choke me with your arm. Isn't that right, Noms? Good day, everybody. Welcome to today's video. It's Drive Bullshit Corner. Today's video, we're going to work on the exhaust. We're going to get that fit up so we can work on, if we ever have to change the starter, change that out. Which I wanted to get done in the last video, but of course we went down the rabbit hole where we talked about trying to get the control arm bolts out and swap them out on the upper control arms. I went down that rabbit hole and ended up having to get the sawzall out using 5 blades, and this is where we're at. However, my gaskets came in today. Couldn't get locally. I could not get these locally in town, so I had to order them off Amazon. They're supposed to be reusable, but I didn't want to reuse these unless I absolutely had to. Now, one of the things I have to do before I get the exhaust fit up is put the block heater plug in, and I just finished wrapping the cord with heat tape because I'm going to have to come down here and run down by the header and run somewhere out here. I'm not sure how I'm going to run the cord and that yet, but I got to figure all that out. I bought this fancy tool last year. It's exhaust cutter tool that I'm going to use on this because I need to cut down here so I can pull this section out and then bolt up the pipe. Because when I originally built this exhaust, I fit it up, but I didn't compensate for that. What if the starter goes, even though it's not going to be a very common item, I would have to drop the whole exhaust. With this modification, I just have to drop the 3 bolts there and the special clamp there and pull that section out, and will allow me to get that part of the exhaust out and change the starter. That's the theory anyways. However, reality, it could be where my dreams go to die. I'm gonna have to figure that out yet. Let's get started. Got that pipe split. Now I'm just gonna go about, we're gonna buff it up. So I got my brass hammer and I got this ring. I'm gonna tap it on and we're gonna put some dog shit welds on it to hold her together, weld her up, and also have to patch up that corner there that got dented by the drive shaft, and then we'll button this up. Shut her down, butterfingers, butterfingers. Try to hold it on there. Ouch. Since I'm welding thin metal, gonna need to turn the power down for sure. It's running 3 wire. I'm gonna go 24. What size is that? Run it at 16 gauge and see what happens. We're welding old metal, so don't know how it's gonna react. That ring is on. I want to patch up this because this is where the drive shaft came up and whacked it. That's what happened when I was doing like 80 kilometers an hour on the gravel road, and I hit a big hole and bottomed out the suspension. So what I want to do is just kind of weld up in here, reinforce it, and then kind of weld around here, just kind of beef it up a little bit. It's not leaking, just I can shine a light through it and no exhaust is coming through, but it's definitely damaged. Did not take long at all to find out where the thin spot was. As you can see, she just melted. Got it patched up. It's pretty ugly, but a hole. There's already a patch on it. Patch on a patch on a patch. Just keep on patching her up. I think next time I'll just take the plasma cutter and cut it all out and weld in a new piece. I just wrapped the exhaust with the old stuff. This goes in front of the oil pan. I don't need to wrap the whole thing like I did the last one. And then with this one here, I just need to wrap this section here and leave the rest. Let the fun begin. Get that exhaust bolted back up. And then hopefully the other piece will fit. Otherwise, I'm going to cry. So the first part is bolted up. Now you can see a reference with the exhaust pipe and front drive shaft. Why I'm not a fan of it. I don't know if there's anything else I could really do about it. Come back down underneath here. Get rid of that rag. See, it awfully comes really close, but I come down 90 around the front. I mean, I can't really come back because of the drive shaft. That's pretty tight in there, and all my fuel lines and crap are there, and I don't want to be heating up my fuel lines. But I also got the block heater cord plugged in there. Those bolts back there, I didn't calculate for how close we're going to be for the transmission pan. So I guess we're going to see what happens when I get this other side bolted up. So you can see with that pipe out, I can clearly get at the starter and remove it. That's my whole purpose for going down this rabbit hole. I should have, this isn't tight yet, but we're going to be pretty close to the flange there. We'll see. Yeah, just doing a quick test fit. Maybe she's gonna work. So this is where I'm at. That clamp was a real bugger to get started. But once I got it started, it was really easy to do it up, but just getting it on there was the hardest part. And then coming over here, you can see up there, it's be one of those jobs. It'd be easier if you had a hoist, because a lot of those bolts were not easy to get to. Bend your arms up in weird spaces, reach in your hand through the frame. But we're all back together now. Hopefully no leaks. We'll find out once we fire it up and have a look at the aftermarket O2 sensors that I have on. So the belly pan's back on. I think that's going to work really well for the drive shaft. No more T-case drop there, save a couple inches. Exhaust is all done back up, it's fired up. Open the garage door a bit. So far so good. We're right at like 14.7, right where we're supposed to be. Toms, I just want to cut your nails. Why are you gonna be that way, Toms? Can't I cut your nails? Can't I? Toms, are we always so angry when it comes to nail cutting? Toms, is this how it's gonna be? Doms, I thought we were buds. She's cold. Look at that ice buildup. And she'll start. Before I play vehicle shuffle, gonna use this little tool right here, test that block heater, make sure that it works. And I'm gonna use that with this multimeter right here. Yeah, we're into the minus 25 range right now, so I don't want to be taking this outside if This is where let the magic out. Okay, it didn't blow up. Let's get this on amps. Showing me 3.4 amps. Does look way better sucking that belly pan up. That's for sure. Just got home from the car wash to give it a quick rinse. It's so cold out that as soon as I went outside, everything just started to freeze. So, you know, with these JKs, you wash them in the wintertime, these doors freeze and you can't open them afterwards. So, get the heat cranked up, let her dry up. So I've been talking about possible battery issues with this Jeep. It's minus 20 outside. And if you got a bad battery, you're gonna know right away in the wintertime, like right now. So I'm just gonna see if I get the old click. Oh, she fired up. She's cranky. Oh yeah, listen to that power steering pump whine. Holy. Okay, this is where the fun begins. I got the JK inside. I just chopped up some wood from the yard from kindling. Got this coming off Amazon. I'm gonna try this. Heat powered stove fan to help move the air around in the tent. Somebody a while ago told me, because I got AGM batteries in the Jeeps, that I should hook up a battery charger because they don't quite charge fully. Seems to be stuck on 76%. Doesn't want to be taking any more of a charge than that. Stubborn. Usually I can get it up to like 14 volts if she's really taking a charge, but doesn't seem to be budging. I just got the diesel heater. We're just going out camping for a night, so I'm not filling it up or taking the jerry can. So I filled this up. That's 10 liters. I shouldn't burn 10 liters in a night. Plus I'm using the wood stove. So like in the previous video, all the modifications have been done. I've tried and tested now, so I don't think I'm gonna have any more issues. I got that variable temperature turbo fan inside. That's like minus 25. It probably won't even bother coming on now, but in case it does. Somebody did point out a good thing though is that I should run an exhaust or a 3-inch tube from this inside the tent, because then I'm recirculating the air in the tent, whereas this way I'm sucking in cold air from outside, so it's not going to be as efficient, which is a very good point. If I ran a tube inside my tent and recirculated the air, probably make a huge difference. Also, there'd be less chance of any kind of carbon monoxide poisoning as well. A little while ago I got this. It's like a cheaper version of another tool. I'm going to put it in the Jeep for electronic diagnostic tool. I've had this Coleman lantern about 1.5 years, and I've only gone through about 2 mantles. I just got to replace those ones because it's starting to get holes in them, but it still works. My last camping trip I noticed it like that and still operated them, but they're as you can see, they're just fragile. Just crumble in your hands. Crumble. You got new ones, but before I can use them, you gotta burn them. All right, you know what time it is? It's motherfucking beer time. That's what time it is. I'm going to shut her down. I got some Sneaky Weasel, Foxy, Shifty, Willy, Crafty. Sneaky Weasel. This is actually pretty good beer. I picked it up at the local liquor store just down the street, and it's pretty good. Comes in an 8-pack. I don't know too many brews that come in an 8-pack, but this is where I shut her down in the video. I'm in between projects now, heading out to do some adventures. And after the adventures are over with, it's time to come home, do the transfer case rebuild in the JK, rebuild the rear drive shaft. And then in the future, next year, probably going to rebuild the rear suspension because the springs are sagging. And while I do that, I might as well work on the control arms and etc. But I want to thank you guys for watching. It's motherfucking beer time. See you guys in the next video.